Give me just 1 second, everybody. I want to get something out there real fast. All right, everybody. This is, let me put it on comments so I can see. Sorry, I gotta get rid of something. All righty, everybody. This is Astrology TV with Matrix Mind Media. It is Breaking the Cage and it is Shark Week. Now, I don't always throw out that Shark Week bit, but it really, really is fitting in this week. But before I get into all of the blueprint, the astrology, what, you know, my spirit guides are giving me to give us to help us understand how to work through this week, I got some business to take care of. So I'm going to throw out that information first. And for my friend Kelly, it's my birthday this week. This is my birthday present. It's always, I'm sorry, but I'm so excited. Anytime somebody... It's just a skull. It's the best thing ever. I'm sorry. that just makes me so happy. And because the energy of this, I need some Metatron. And some of you may know of him as an archangel, an angel, an ascendant being. But I need some of his incense burning for this real fast. So let me light it. And then I'm going to get on with what I'm trying to get on with. Hold on. Making sure, let me see, like I said, put it out too quick. Da-da-da-da. That's all right. It gives a couple people a few minutes to get in here. Hey, PJ. Thank you for tuning in. All right. Wanted to get my Archangel Metatron going in. For those who don't know, I mean, you can find different incense and stuff that are always helpful with cleaning the energy around you. This one, just in case you can see it, I get it one of the shops that I'm always at, the Grove of Bright Blessings here in Fredericksburg, but it's a Metatron incense specifically. Thank you for telling me happy birthday, Natalie. But let me get into all of this stuff first, and then I'm gonna get us into what this week's energy is about. Because for those of you who've been following me in general, you guys know I've been going through a lot with my mom being in and out of the hospital, you know, and everything that's been going on with her. I have been going through so much spiritual lessons. And I'm just telling you that my shamanism is about to just completely start coming in like nobody's business anymore with the lessons that I've had going on. And that's a good thing. And with that being said, my birthday, I'm celebrating my birthday by giving a sale because I love to be able to help people. I love to be able to communicate with you, hear your stories, help you grow in any way possible. So if you check out my personal pages and the information that's in all the description box that you're, you know, for the show right now, I am giving where I'm giving, I call it mentorship, shaman consultations and mentorship / readings, because when I do a reading and I start dealing with people, it usually is more mentorship than anything. And 90% of the time, I don't do it like I pull a tarot card or I deal with tarot or I deal with runes or just the astrology. It's wherever they direct me, and that's where we go. And 90% of the time, it's always about helping them on their growth. So it's really not even a reading. It's just what is needed. And with that being said, I'm giving sessions away until the Lion's Gate. This all ties into this energy. Until the Lion's Gate on August 8th. And I'm doing them for a special sale of, I think it's $30 for an hour and $20 for a half hour. Sometimes I have people who purchase 2 hours at a time. Either way, I just wanted to let you know because we are getting definitely deep into the energies now. And you're starting to see what I've been talking about, that when in 2020, I was like, you got nothing on the energies that are going to be coming in. And we're getting into the rawest of raw soul self energy, and truly ascension or not. And every time this year, right before we get the Lion's Gate, it's the portal portal of energy that is open for ascension. Well, you have the guardians of the pole who are guarding that ascension. And they are at the point of, we're not letting you guys come up unless you've earned it. And I say that each year, but damn, the energies now are going, no, you're going to earn it. You're going to earn it. You're going to work. You're going to understand. And you're going to come into this energy. There's going to be a lot of what I like to call the inverted dragon energy. And I'm going to get into that here in a little bit. But I also wanted to state that I am also, with where they're taking me on my shamanism, for all of you who do watch this show, you realize that I go into the astrology and what my shamanism and my spirit guides are telling me and helping give it to you so that it can help you in any way possible within your life and moving forward. Now, with that being said, I am really starting to move forward into the moon phases, moon rituals, and I'm getting down and dirty in the nitty gritty of these moon phases and really starting to, like I said, pull into that shamanism. And I'm really going to start working with people according to the moon phases, according to the transiting energies. That means I'm not doing any of this mainstream, the mainstream idea of the moon phases and their generic, so to speak, ideas anymore. This is about getting real, getting raw, getting deep, and getting healed. And you will start seeing that information come across my own personal page. I already have started to put out where I'm going to start doing with a friend of mine. We're going to start doing the rituals on the first quarter and the third quarter, because technically there is I believe 9 phases, not 4, to the moon phases. And when you're really getting into the work of this, the first quarter and the third quarter is all about taking action and all about releasing and letting go of what's not serving you, so that when you get to the full moon or the new moon, you can truly see what has been brought into light, as well as what to start creating. So I'm getting really into the nitty gritty, looking into all of the planetary energy, and we're really going to start moving this into how can we seriously get serious about working our soulfulness and bringing our healing full force and get out of the mainstream bullshit idea. With that being said, I have started already putting out with that first and third quarter what I call, what me and my girlfriend are calling, because she is from Dawning Fox. And we're going to start doing what is called Monster on a Pyre. And that's going to be the first and the second quarter. First and third quarter. I will put this stuff out. But Monster on a Pyre is basically, let's sanctify the monster within. It's about purification, so the true cleansing and the true action can take place. This is helping us to release what's not working. And if you go back through history, through the Bible, through everything, sanctification has been a form of purification for as long as we have been alive. So this is about burning away the residual inner monster, funk, the bad, getting us really on point, so when we get to those full moons and those new moons, we can actually make them work for us. With that being said, I also do Thursday Weekly Thunder with my friend from Dawning Fox. Her name is Kelly. You can find that stuff on my personal page, where we do a 1 hour on Thursday nights, readings for the collective, and we throw out that information. So you may want to check in with us and see if any of what we're throwing out there for the collective is actually something that can be helpful for you. Now, with that being said, yes, this is Shark Week. Boy, let me help you understand something. This is why I said the inverted dragon is all over this energy. Shark Week is all over this energy. We have just entered Leo season, meaning the lion, the courage of the lion. Leo also stands for in tarot, strength, the strength card. Strength is found within, from facing all of what you have to face. Okay, it's the lion, which is the earth energy in one form, fire energy as well. But then you're looking at Shark Week, I don't care what nobody has told you. Shark Week is designed this week on purpose because in order to understand shark medicine, you have to understand you're dealing with, in the inverted dragon, you're dealing with as above, so below. You're dealing with the king of the jungle as well as the king of the deeper oceans. And this is encompassing all truths. No more bullshit, encompassing it all and bringing it into you. When I do a lot of my mentoring ship and I help people understand, especially when they're coming into understanding energy and they're coming into understanding mediumship or empath energy, I explain a lot of time what we hear or what you've heard when you were little and you went to church. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. What do you think an empath is? Now you take that into the inverted energy, the inverted dragon. That means you are going up the tree and circling around. At the same time, you are going down the tree and circling up, encompassing all. I got the whole wide world in my hands. Well, what will you do with it? Can you understand that energy? Can you dig deep enough past what I call the first wave? What is the newest, most recent energy of funk or great? And really get to the deep core, the source behind the energy to understand it. Because if you can't get deep, get out of the shark's way, because the shark is going to bite you. Now, let me see what else I got to go on here. The shark medicine speaks to you about swiftly redirecting your energy swiftly. Let me remind you, sharks can never stop swimming. If they do, they can't get the oxygen and they will die. So this is constantly speaking to you about keep the movement going. Keep the movement going and stay alert and stay focused. But sharks are also speaking to you about authority within that focus. You are going to see this week the sharks, the false sharks coming out until the real sharks, like I said, the inverted dragon, have to show, don't make me bite back. Because sharks are known to bite away the negativity. Don't think of Jaws. They will strike. They're constantly moving and they will rid it of it. This is where a shark attack comes in on a psychic level. A true shark is constantly moving. A true shark can be at peace with themselves in these deeper emotional waters as they travel from the bottom of that tree all the way up to the top. So it's not all just foo-foo kumbaya love here. This is encompassing the whole subject, getting to the raw nitty-gritty and understanding the truth. And when people are getting in your face, being manipulative, being entitled, belittling, dictatoring energy, that's because they're not the real shark. That's because they're in fear of losing their power, which they never had in the first place if they're striking out of fear. A true shark will just slap that down. And what I'm trying to get to you to understand is we're not looking at it in order to fully come into the growth of encompassing that tree of life from above, so below, going both directions at one time. The inverted dragon going from the deepest, darkest pits of our ego where we're hiding it and actually facing it, coming up through into the light versus the light and then going back around and having to go back into the dark to start over, to be reborn. This is encompassing all. And a true shark is going to understand, I'm not in competition with your caliber. the caliber of your character. Because if you have to play that game, they're showing you that they aren't the shark. They're showing you that they're not in their power, but they're a manipulative, afraid, scared, pushy person who's trying to belittle you into getting what they want. Now, understand it's never about being in competition. And hear me very clearly, if you can tap in with where I'm going from here. The caliber of your character takes different places according to the dimensional realms that you are in. When you're still, you can be awake and still not be, you can be awake or awoken and still only be three-dimensional. You can have your third eye open and still be full of ego. It's a very confusing thing. You do not stay in 3D. You do not just stay in 4 or 5D. You jump around. And in every area, there's always somebody who's learned a little bit of something. And I hate to say it, but 90% of the time, it is, well, I've learned this and you haven't. That's a game. That's an ego game, no matter what dimension you are on. If you don't want to play the 3-dimensional game, you don't want to play the 4-dimensional game, you don't want to play the 5-dimensional game anymore, understand very simply that manifestation comes from the idea of your vibrational frequency. If it is not of the same frequency, then it cannot exist in your energy. If it is not in alignment with you, it cannot exist in your energy. So while you have those false sharks showing their asses, allow them to show them and fall until it have to bite back. But the point is, don't lower your caliber. Don't lower your dimensional energy. Just expunge it. Back to why we created Monster on a Pyre. Sanctify, purify your energy, rise, but that does not mean let people get away with the dirty deeds they do. Do not let them get away with their unexcused energy. Yes, put them in their place, but don't lower yourself. Don't lower your vibration. If you're truly a shark, you can shift directions real fast. And you got the bite to be able to do anything you need to with the authority and the focus. Keep your wits about you and your clarity this week. Trust in that energy of what you are consuming as to, are you in the proper alignment? Are you in the proper caliber of what you want to be? Or are you being tested to see if you'll fall? Because that, my dear, is the key. You're getting ready to come into the Lion's Gate, and the guardians of the pole are watching. Have you ascended spiritually? Are you capable of walking up and down the tree and encompassing it all? Can you understand the energy, or are you just going to make an excuse and point fingers? Now, another thing is you've got to understand when people are acting manipulative, entitled, push and shove to get their way, being, acting like the dictator, all that they're showing you isn't just fear, but the fact of they have a problem with their own inner emotional security because they don't have it. Shark has that inner emotional security. That's why it can jump the realms. That's why it can go deep and it can go high. Understand what you're doing. Understand your energy and don't allow I'm not going to see negative energy as negative energy anymore, people. We're going to start looking at negative. Listen up, Starfleet. You need to start looking at the negative energy, those lower vibrations, as an illness, an infection. Are you going to allow the infection in? Are you going to allow the infection to riddle your aura, your energy, and pull you down? Nah, this is why I said it though, when I did last week's Breaking the Cage. I'm done with 3D. I'm done with the game. I am a creator. I'm going to start taking responsibility as so. I'm not going to play caliber game no matter what dimension we're on. I know what I am. I know what I can create. I will do so. And if I don't like the alignment, well, then I'll step out of it. That's where you need to get. And I'm saying that because when you have a grand cross all across the week, and like I said, it's because those guardians of the pole, which I will get into a little bit better with that, they're watching and they're marking the territories. They're making the decisions on if they even think you're able to come through. I'm not even playing. When I get into the blueprint, before I start jumping into the actual astrology, you have Jupiter. Okay, first off, you've got the new moon this week. It's not just Shark Week, it's the new moon. And this is why it's important with the Shark Week and the inverted dragon. The new moon's taking place in Cancer, which is the 4th house, which is your inner emotional security. It is the soul. It is knowing that the soul is not just in here. The soul is everlasting. And are you secure with yourself? As well as bringing it back to this 3-dimensional world and what you're creating. Are you secure? And I put it to you that way because the full moon took place in Capricorn, which was placing it in the 3-dimensional world and how you were feeling about the way your 3-dimensional world is versus your higher emotional, mental dimensions, bringing it back into the 3D physical world. And then the Lion's Gate, the moon is traveling through Capricorn again. So it's saying if you want to get through, you got to get out of that 3-dimensional game, period. You've got to get into the higher, I don't even need your dimensions anymore. I am soul. And I am inner security within myself. Because when you go through that Lion's Gate in a week and a half, 2 weeks, that moon's going to be traveling right through Capricorn again, going, did you learn the lesson? Telling you, the guardians of the pole aren't having it. And this week, as soon as you get through that new moon in new moon in Cancer, as soon as that new moon in Cancer happens, it's going to jump directly into Leo, so it's more or less a void of course, and it's going to travel over Kokub. And that right there is your inverted dragon. Because it's going to go past the sun, go over Kokub, a couple other fixed stars, and then, or several fixed stars, and then it's going to go over Mercury. Is it Mercury? I believe so. All in Leo, which is the 5th house on how you create. According to, are you feeling the energy? Are you happy? Are you enjoying? Are you feeling weighed down? It's also the Leo energy, which is the king of the jungle, and you are responsible for your kingdom that you created. So Kokub is the tail of the dragon. Will it eat itself again? Or will it start a new cycle? He is the center of the guardians of the pole. Now, you have Sirius that also is moving into Leo this week, and Sirius is all about karma, people. Sirius, not Sirius Star, Sirius. Sirius is karma. She is the threefold. She speaks to you about what you nurture or what you neglect in your creative house, in your fun zone, in your enjoyment of life. Do you enjoy this life? Or are you dumbed down and exhausted and burned out because that's what they want? They're trying to push on you and push on you and push on you. But can you rise out of that 3-dimensional push because of that inner emotional security and come back into the creator that you are? Are you nurturing or neglecting? Jupiter goes retrograde the same day as the new moon. What, 4 hours later? 3 hours later? Jupiter is abundance. Giving you the ding, 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 ding. I gave you everything you needed before I start smacking you down with the lessons you refuse to learn. As he goes back through Aries and ends up going into Pisces come like November. Jupiter's not going to be forgiving if you're not learning. Jupiter is an excessive energy. He gives you abundance of it, whether it's higher knowledge or not, of whatever you feed him. And if you're feeding him, you know, the three-dimensional pull of crap, all he can do is feed it back. He has all of the knowledge. Are you using him right to create, or are you in wounded healer? Because you also have Chiron in Aries at this time. Now, whoa, you also have Venus, which is in that 4th house of Cancer, that inner emotional security with Lilith. But directly in between that is the Sirius star. And the Sirius star is the one that starts questioning everybody right before the Lion's Gate comes in. The Sirius star is like Thor's hammer. It is like God's consciousness speaking to you about where are you submissive and where are you claiming your inner emotional security? Where are you just giving it away over and over again? Where are you loving wrong? I had a perfect conversation with somebody today about 90% of people. It's one of these. It's one of the biggest known stories you've heard forever. They did all the wrong things for the right reasons. Sometimes people love, but the way they need to love. Sometimes they can't share the way that you may need them to share for you. Put it this way, the person I'm talking to is like, you know, I'm not one who likes to be over, like, coveted around. I don't like to be, you know, be touched and all of this. You know, it's just not one of my comfort zones. And the other person is too touchy-feely, too lovey. And that's because that person, that's how that person needs to love. But in order to truly ascend, truly grow, you also need to understand, because that's the way you need it, does not mean that that's the way somebody else may need it. Spirit's been coming in deep this week with, before you go crucifying everyone, remember, you got lessons you ain't working on too. Because for everybody on this planet, all of us have things we're overlooking and we're avoiding or understanding. Now, hold on. The blueprint is Jupiter and Chiron, which Jupiter is on the cheeks, which is speaking to us about our facial expressions, as well as our ability to communicate, how we actually are capable of talking by moving our mouth. Has to do with your cheekbones as well. Has to do with your ability to express as well, because it's you move so much more of your facial expressions according to if you're smiling or frowning. Then Chiron is going over the brain, over the lobes that are actually activating how you process your thinking. Chiron's the wounded healer, helping you to see when you're letting those negative energy headaches coming in because of how you're processing. Taurus has been, Taurus has now got Mars, Uranus, and the North Node pretty much all coming together this week. What a powerful energy. Mars, the warrior, not exactly in his most powerful spot. Uranus, independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, not in its powerful spot. The North Node trying to teach you a lesson about your self-worth, your value, dignity, liberation, all in an area that it's not overly comfortable with. So it makes it easier to become push and shove, entitled, the warrior without the wisdom, just batting off at the mouth. There's your false sharks. they're also allowing that throat energy to not work for them because they don't want to listen, versus allowing what you're bringing in from your brain and into the spine, sending in the signals through the zeal point of, yeah, I'm open for psychic attack. So this is asking you, are you really responsible of your own energy? Are you in a caliber and a character of understanding your own energy and what you are bringing to the table before you crucify the alignments, the manifestation, the vibration? Are you part of the right one? Are you acknowledging where you're not resonating correctly? You have Pallas, which is Athena, the warrior goddess, and her strategic thinking is all over the thymus and the trachea. Your breathing and the energies of what you're sending back and forth. Jekyll and Hyde energy, people. This is the villain who's trying to also be good. There's a difference. You all have seen your superhero movies where you have the superhero, but then you have the villains, and you have the one that kind of walks a fine line. That's what this week is. That fine line. Venus is all over the gastric energy and how you actually digest it on an energetic level. Then you have the sun, which is the heart again and the spine, but it's also in its overacting of your life force energy, the chest energy. Not to mention Jupiter, which goes retrograde, is also the kidneys and the lower back. So if your kidneys and lower back are giving you extra problems, it's because he's letting you know where you're getting something wrong. And if you have the lower back problems on a regular, but it's extra right now, it's probably because of that. Now, when we get into the energy of this week, you have the moon mainly going through Cancer and Leo. Pretty much. I mean, it will be moving out at the end of the week, but for the most part, the energy is Cancer and Leo. And it's going from inner emotional security to your inner creativity, your inner child, your inner play, your inner fun. It is where you make the time to enjoy your life, to be part of it, to be part of the living, to be part of the breathing, part of enjoying it. Are you getting that? Or are you so much in your head that you're not getting any of excitement, any joy? Why are you weren't put on this planet just to suffer. That's the three-dimensional game messing with your head. And where they're trying to push you back down, this is saying regain your power, restore it, start finding. If you don't have time, like I say, an actor has to learn how to sharpen their skills. A poet has to be able to write their art, write their poetry. A singer needs to be able to sharpen her skills. Magicians have to learn how to play their guitars, or so to speak, whatever. Artists have to, have time to paint these things. They didn't get it because it was given to them. Every single person has the same 24 hours of energy. Every day. Are you being manipulated into doing things you don't want to do with your energy that's actually keeping you from enjoying your life? Shark, coming back into understanding, along with that Leo strength. Are you in your inner emotional security, or are you being pushed? And how will you act? Are you going up and down the tree, encompassing the whole picture? Now, you have the Grand Cross this week. Sorry, I had to have a sip of my drink. A Grand Cross this week means it's incredibly challenging. It is not going to be easy. And that's why I was saying you're definitely feeling this shark energy because of this Grand Cross. It doesn't mean that it can't be accomplished. It doesn't mean that good things cannot come of it, but it means the lesson is not easy to learn. It means that all of the planets are trying to come up with their best idea. Again, sometimes some of the worst things were done for the best reasons. And this is saying they're not getting along at how to get to the right. And this is every single bit of these energies will be taking place in your life and in your own body. Saturn, which is in retrograde in that 11th house on a universal scale, is speaking to us about our goals, our dreams, our ambitions, but also the groups and the memberships that we are part of. Are those groups and memberships supporting or harming those goals, dreams, and ambitions? Do you need to maybe back away from it some more? Maybe you don't want to tell everybody your business. Maybe you want to hold your goals, dreams, and ambitions and not necessarily share it with those who might try to steal it, might try to take on it, might try to keep you from it. Unless you have the ones who are patting you back and supporting you. I'm just being honest. The Grand Cross is about rules, walls, boundaries in the outer world that supports you moving forward. And is it possible? It is not getting along with Mars, your inner warrior, your inner SWAT team, your inner passion, action, and aggression. It is not getting along with the North Node. And it is not getting along with Uranus in the second house of Taurus, which is also your manifestation house, your self-worth, your self-value, your independence, your individuality, where you show the world, this is who I am. And you know what? I like me. So take it or leave it. I don't have to answer to you. I wasn't put on this planet to make you happy. I was put on this planet to figure out who I am. And to be able to be accepting who I am, like who I am, but to be honest with who I am. Independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, standing on your own, liberation, believing in yourself. And if you're not in those energies, then you're in the energy of push and shove, being manipulative, trying to force it to happen. That is not inner emotional security. That is anxiety, denial, and fear. Speaking to the rules, walls, and boundaries of the outer world, which is then speaking to Mercury and the communication of how can I get what I want out of life? How can I enjoy this life? How can I make life fun? How can I have what I want and be able to? I mean, this is also where lovers meet. Are you missing your life? And then it's speaking to the South Node. Everything you're really good at giving away instead of growing. The 8th house of Scorpio with the South Node is saying, this is where I bet you will not grow. This is where I bet you'll continue the same path again and again and again. Because I've gotten good at manipulating it and making it happen the way I'm used to. But the way you're used to is not what's working. So this means take a leap of faith, believe in yourself, grow some freaking balls, and be real. It's time to be raw. It's time to show the world the glorious thing that you are. And if they're not ready for you, well then jump timelines. That's fine. I don't really need you to be ready for me. This is where I'm trying to get you guys at. The sun in that 5th house of Leo is not getting along with Pluto. Though I walk through the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. You're still used to the 3-dimensional world. You're still used to the way society has told you to be. This is unlearning what you were taught. This is unlearning what society has taught us wrong and how we don't love ourselves properly and how we don't understand ourselves. So many times we, with love, make the wrong mistakes over and over again because we can't figure out how to grow. And the reason we can't figure out how to grow is because we're still ideally looking at what we're immune to, what we're used to, what we know. It's time to know that you don't need to freaking know. It's called faith. Faith in the universe, faith in God, faith in the creator, faith in yourself. Venus and Lilith, going over that Sirius star energy, the inner godding, in your inner emotional security, the roots of who and what you are, is not getting along with Chiron or Jupiter. Your thinking process. Trying to try something new. Told you Jupiter is not going to be forgiving if he has to come in and knock you off of your feet and keep beating you down. And you want him to beat you down now because, trust me, you don't want him beating you down when he goes back into Pisces. Because if you can't learn that lesson when he's in retrograde now in Aries, holy shit, the lesson you're going to get when he goes back in Pisces around November. May even be October. You do have some good opportunities, though. You have sextiles going on. Pluto, which is in retrograde, which is seriously going, I'm trying to teach you who you are if you'll just believe in you and not listen to how this world says you have to be, but you can create this world as you see fit. He's getting along with Neptune, who is also in retrograde. Neptune in retrograde is asking you, point blank, are you down with nostalgia or creating? Fantasy or reality? Will you breathe it into life? And what are you breathing? He's giving you the tools to dig in deep with that shark energy, swim really deep into your soul self, into all calibers of who and what you are, on all realms, sanctify and bring it up, and recreate. But that all depends on if you got the balls to really recreate. Because it's there for you. But like I said, nothing about this week is going to go easy unless you believe it and you step out of that three-dimensional world. Mars, Uranus, and the North Node aren't getting along with Sirius star, Lilith, or Venus. That inner emotional security versus trusting in yourself, believing in yourself. It's going to be more easy to be submissive. It's going to be more easy to be like, yeah, okay, fine. And I'm not saying that you should jump the gun and bite somebody's head off. But I am saying we do have to stand up for ourselves. We do have to put ourselves in, our own energy. We have to be responsible for it. And if you're letting the situation at hand trying to dictate how your life will be, well, then shame on you for allowing it to happen. But you have the ability to change it. It's all about learning to love yourself. The South Node is getting along great with Venus and Lilith in the Sirius star. But that's not necessarily a good idea either. Because the South Node is everything you're good at that's keeping you from transforming. That's keeping you in the same old ideas. Making yourself feel comfortable in your uncomfortability. Venus, the Sirius star, and Lilith is going, well, if you tell yourself that, you'll submissively believe it, And then you'll talk yourself into that comfortable uncomfortability, and the cycle begins again. I said it's all set up to be challenges this week. The Guardians of the Pole are playing no games before this Lion Gate comes in. They want to make sure that as you're coming up, that you really are coming up. You have the Sun, which also during that new moon will have the moon coming over it in the evening of the 28th. And the Sun all week is not getting along with Chiron, the wounded healer. What is your caliber? What is your character? Versus, are you in competition with other people's frequency, other people's alignment? The only alignment you should be in is the one that you desire to be in. If it's not matching it, it's time to jump realms. It's time to change timelines. I'm not going to put up with it. I'm not playing this game anymore. I'm trying to lead you guys into healing yourself and moving forward and finding that inner security. Like I said, it's time to be raw. We're going there now. I love you guys. I will see you next week.